on a mission in pursuit of our passion and our purpose. But it's inevitable that along the way, we're going to hit a bump in the road. Have you ever been in the position where you felt like you had no hope? That the problem in front of you was just a lot bigger than a bump, but a mountain too big to overcome? Well, these are the situations that define us. These are the experiences that have laid the foundation to where we stand today. These experiences have curated the narrative to our story. A wonderful work in progress. An amazing living and breathing testimony. And the beautiful thing in life is that it's not our past, nor our failures, fears, nor insecurities that define us. It's the actions that we take. It's the reactions that we make. It's how we take a big step forward in faith and overcome. And that's why I'm here with you today, is to share with you my story. My name is Brian Wysong, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Tumbleweed Textiles. We are a Texas-inspired apparel and lifestyle brand that was started nearly 13 years ago by two high school teachers. I was teaching marketing, and he was teaching art. We combined our passions and our strengths to launch this beautiful side hustle with a $700 investment, $350 each. We were able to become a real deal business where we have served well over 120,000 different customers, 2,500 different retailers. We have shipped product to all 50 states, over 15 different countries on an annual basis. And we have served some of the most amazing, iconic Texas brands, musicians, and businesses. And we hit a milestone of $4.2 million in gross revenue, all from $25 t-shirts. And guess what? From that initial $700 investment. Isn't that wild? Thank you. The wonderful thing is in this journey that it wouldn't be possible if it weren't for the millions of steps that I have taken along the way. And yes, many steps forward with success, but far more setbacks of failure, issues, and mistakes. But those are the moments that have sharpened me to be the man, husband, father, friend, and business owner that I am today. They've allowed me to grow in knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and I have certainly grown to have far more gratitude because life is really hard. Being a business owner is very hard. But you know what? Being a father and dad and going through the conflicts of this world, I think is harder. Back when I was in high school, I had this teacher look at me. She said, "Brian, you're going to be a teacher or the president of the United States because you are a natural born leader. You're quiet, but impactful. And you are very influential." And I looked at her and laughed. I said, there is absolutely no way. Because one, I need to make a lot more money than a teacher. And two, well, one of my biggest fears, and it still is today, is public speaking. Well, y'all, check and check. I've done both. I served as a teacher for nearly 10 years. And look at me right now, talking literally as I public speak. Isn't it wild in life that many times we do the things that we say we won't, and we achieve the things that we say we can't? Well, also, as I was transitioning from high school to college, I had the opportunity for a few, scholarship opportunities for soccer and football. You might be surprised, but I was the kicker, But unfortunately, very, very fortunately, I found myself at Texas Tech University. It was my backup option, the only school that I had applied to outside of sports. But that allowed me the opportunity to meet this really pretty girl that invited me to church. And at that church, I was able to get a non-paid internship role where I would learn how to run and be involved in an organization and work with people far older than I was. And that opportunity allowed me to get promoted to become the director of marketing and college ministries at that church, serving thousands of people within our community. But I felt like there was more. So I moved to Dallas. And there I was able to begin working at one of the leading branding and marketing agencies, serving churches, ministries, authors, speakers, nonprofits, and of course, small businesses from all around the world. I had the ability and opportunity to write PR plans, create strategic opportunities. I was in the epicenter of my purpose. I was fulfilling what I believed was my mission. And I know I made my parents proud because I was living out my marketing degree. But there, I had the opportunity to define my skills in business, sharpen my abilities in marketing. But one day after work, I found myself in Plano at a happy hour with my family. And my brother-in-law and I just happened to bump into his former high school football coach. And that conversation led to a job interview in Frisco ISD to where I would become the middle school girls soccer coach. Quite possibly the furthest from what I believed was the epicenter of my plan. But there's something that felt right within my heart. I felt the peace to take it. So I did. I took a step of faith. And that opportunity led to the end of the season to get a job at Liberty High School, where I would become the marketing teacher and soccer coach. And that is the place where I met my now business partner, where I saw him drawing an amazing piece of art that later found its way onto a t-shirt. And now we have Tumbleweed Textiles, the business that has defined my now. But one piece of that puzzle that I left out, that girl that invited me to church, well, now she's my wife. And she's the lead graphic designer for our business. Isn't that awesome? The thing is, in life, so many times, we allow the burdens and weight of this world to blind our vision. Social media, papers, news, radio, TV, they give us a false sense of who we are and what we are supposed to do. And many times that leads to depression because of the anxieties of life, because we're trying to chase the competition to keep up with our friends, our family, our community, the other business person, the other teacher. And many times we see the grass is greener on the other side. I think we've all been there. We taste it and realize it's not so sweet. And for me, I think it's evident you can see the blessings upon the path of my journey. There's been this invisible thread that has connected the dots from one step to the next. And in many times, I didn't understand nor believe the why, but I felt the peace to move forward. And as I right now look back and see, doesn't that build a lot of faith? Doesn't that give a lot of hope? Don't neglect your story, because your past is so important. But as I stand here and it appears to be that I'm on top of this hill of success and achievements with my business, the reality is it hasn't been so easy. In 2020, I decided to go full-time, retire from education, and become a full-time business owner, the CEO of my company. But boom, COVID hit. Probably the worst time to open a brick and mortar store. But luckily our community rallied around us and bought a lot of shirts and a lot of products, and we were able to survive that battle. But now the reality is we're in an economic downturn. Inflation is up, cost of goods are up. It's really hard right now to sell t-shirts. And this has forced us to have to make cuts in payroll, shifts in our strategic plan. And as business owners, well, to make ends meet, having to sometimes not take a paycheck, many months at a time. This has put an immense amount of pressure on my shoulders, a lot of pressure on my family and my wife. It's been really hard and it has forced me to doubt my why. I thought I was living out my mission and my purpose, but in moments like this, man, I feel empty and maybe that I made a mistake leaving education in the first place. But I think every single one of you has been in that moment of time at some point in your life. In these moments, if you stop and you can reflect, build that courage and faith, it helps. But I want to be vulnerable now and share a few other life situations that have defined me. When I was in first grade, I was playing with Legos on Christmas Day. And poof, our Christmas tree caught on fire. And as in the chaoticness of us trying to get out of the house, my father got stuck and got third-degree burns over his entire body. Man. A few years later, my father, probably speeding, got himself into a car wreck where they had to cut him out with the jaws of life. And back then, you didn't have to wear a seatbelt legally, and so he never wore one. But magically, the fire chief said that they had to cut off a seatbelt. Isn't that a miracle? And between my father and my mother through time, they have both suffered multiple cancers and even 2 heart attacks. And then my wife and I had our amazing, beautiful daughter, our firstborn. But we were blown away, surprised to find out that she had special needs, cognitively and physically. And I remember meeting with that geneticist to find out that we had no clue what her life expectancy might be. As a parent, could you imagine hearing that? But y'all, I want to celebrate because 12 years later, she's alive and well. But just a couple of years ago, we did find out that she had a brain tumor. In life, doesn't it seem that when it rains, it pours? No matter how hard we work, no matter how hard we try, no matter how much we reflect on our past to build the courage, it just seems like these gut punches just keep coming. And these are the moments that have forced me to have perspective. It's easy to quit. It's easy to throw in the towel. But I believe our mind is so powerful, and our mindset will dictate our destiny. And it's our perspective that drives that mindset. And as we labor in life, it produces fruit of love, peace, patience, gratitude. And as I sit here and reflect on my life, the reality is if my family had not gone through all of those hardships along the way, I don't think we would be as strong as a family. And I certainly would not have the ability to go through some very harsh emotional things that has prepared me to be a business owner. And if I didn't go to Texas Tech University, I would have never met my wife. We wouldn't have 3 amazing children. And if I didn't go into the ministry, I certainly would have never learned how to cope and overcome the anxieties and fears of people, and specifically public speaking. And that is the place that I learned how to reach people and to connect with people right where they are at. And if I didn't become a teacher, well, I would have never had the amazing opportunity to kind of be forced to work with all kinds of people, specifically those with special needs. That has prepared me to be the father to my Hannah Beth with patience that I have today. And if I never would have gone through the hardships of running a business, specifically financial, well, I don't think if my wife and I would have ever stopped to reflect, to ask ourselves our why. Because my purpose is not about the situation I'm in. Your purpose is not about your situation. For me, is to educate, motivate, and inspire. That is why I got into the ministry. That is why I became a teacher. And honestly, that is why I love being a business owner. Because as a business owner, I've been able to develop and grow credibility that allows me to connect to people, that allows me to connect and work with other businesses, business owners, and leaders. But mainly because of the hardships. Because people in this world aren't looking in their hearts for that fake facade on Facebook. They're looking for an authentic, real person that has a story that resonates with them. And being a business owner allows me to share my story, which allows me to do what I'm doing right now. And I want to share with this story that our life is not defined by your hardships. No matter what situation you're in, no matter the change of your income, the shift of your job, nothing changes in your purpose and mission. Those are just modes or vessels to your plan. And it goes back to perspective. How are you going to take that pen and write the next chapter of your life? Because that's the beautiful thing in life, is we have a choice. Your past does not define you. What you do right now and how you move forward will. And I believe your story is your greatest tool and greatest asset to serve, to love. So I want to challenge every single one of you right now to stop and take a deep breath. Everything's going to be okay. Just look back and see the dots that have connected to get you to where you're at. Allow your past to transform your mind, to have great gratitude, to allow you to move ahead. Strategize. In life, we get so caught up in the go, go, go that we get away from the plan that we have. So strategize. Allow your life to align to your mission. Don't let your mission fall away aligning to your life. And go. Take a big step of faith forward. Understand you've made it to where you're at right now. Take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. Allow your past to be the catalyst that allows you to move ahead. Thank you. Thank you.